where would you invest in Africa if you were going to do that?
Great question. And I have thought about that. There's no quick, easy answer. It also depends. Most of all, I guess the first thing you got to figure out is what's your risk level, your risk tolerance. Because on the one hand, a place like the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is riddled with problems, or Sudan, which has a lot of volatility right now still, is in some ways, for a big risk taker, a great opportunity, because you want to, there's an investor saying that says you want to invest when there's blood on the streets. So when there's blood on the streets, great time to invest. And there's lots of places in Africa, not as many as you might think, but there's lots of places in Africa where there is a proverbial blood on the streets. There's maybe not literal blood, but there's economic chaos going on. And so that presents for a savvy, a shrewd, and investor with a high risk profile a great opportunity. So, but if on the other hand, you're just looking for something safer, then there's a lot of chances of that. I would say for a lot of Westerns, people who have like a moderate risk tolerance, because obviously if you're very risk averse, you're not going to even think about Africa, because you're probably put your shit in T-bills and stuff like that. But if you're thinking about Africa, you already have a certain level of risk tolerance. So you can start off with places that are pretty safe, like Namibia. You have Mauritius, which has been a hotbed for a lot of investment and a lot of developments. Mauritius is trying to lead the charge also with cryptocurrencies and things like that. And Ethiopia has tried to do a lot of things to try to encourage investments. So a lot of money has been pouring into Ethiopia as well. And I mean, there's several countries. I guess I could continue listing. I mean, Senegal to a certain extent. I'm trying to think of North Africa. North Africa, I mean, again, if you're looking for blood on the streets, go to Libya. I mean, because Libya, it's not going to stay in chaotic state like it is forever. And Libya has a great, nice location right on the Mediterranean Sea. It's eventually going to make a comeback. So you invest in property, you buy land, or you start up something. Eventually, Libya will come back. And it's not going to be that way, I think, forever. So anyway, there's a variety of opportunities. It all comes down to your risk level.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And I
by the way, one more thing.
Sure.
For real estate, because Africa is the fastest reproducing continent. I mean, they have the highest fertility rate. Therefore, land by definition, it becomes more scarce as Homo sapiens start to encroach on themselves and on wild territories and other things. So, real estate in some ways is a nice investment, just simply because if there's one thing for sure is that real estate will become more and more scarce in Africa. So that's kind of a, versus a business. I have a business. I have a safari company in Tanzania. But that's there's more moving parts right now. For example, the Corona apocalypse has really screwed the safari business because nobody wants to travel or even can travel. So you're exposed to that. But land, if you just buy a plot of land somewhere, it's going to appreciate whatever. Even if you don't have a building on it, it's going to appreciate in value by itself. So, but you have to be super careful with Africa because there's unfortunately a lot of people who take advantage. There's very little rule of law in certain places. Property rights are not as defined. There's a lot of legal headaches to get things, especially if you're a foreigner. So it's a big can of worms. And so you have to really be adventurous in order to dip your toe into that kind of hornet's nest.